Yes! Yes! The Hawks beat the Blues. Let's go! Resilience is the name of the game. The Hawks win 3-2 in overtime over the St. Louis Blues. Let's go. Derek King gets the big win that gets the Hawks fans on his side. This team was down 2-0, and they fought back, tied the game, and won it in a fantastic win for this team. Big win against a really good opponent, and I'm so glad that we were able to pick this one up. I mean, ESPN Plus did a terrible job at broadcasting this because they missed the first goal. They didn't broadcast for like the first minute. And what do you know? Paul Buchnevich, scores in the first minute of the game. So no one was even really able to see what happened on that goal. So that was great. So no one even watches the game. Haven't seen a second of action, and the Hawks already down 1-0. A couple minutes after Buchnevich scores, it is Kane who just dumps it in pretty much. And Jordan Binnington makes a really stupid mistake, ends up hitting the puck basically right onto Taves' stick. He buries it, and the game's tied. And he gets his first goal of the year. It's so exciting. That was a great moment. Or at least that's what we thought, because the play ended up going up in a review and ended up being called offside. So Taves gets no goal. No goal, so no first goal of the year for Jonathan Taves quite yet. So it's still 1-0. Great. With under 4 minutes to go in the game, the Blues are on the power play, and Buchnevich has it in the back. And when a nice lead pass for Thomas finds Barbashev, who couldn't handle it initially, but is able to get his stick on it, and it ends up beating Lankinen. And, well, it's 2-0 already. So at the end of the first period, it's 2-0. And as the Hawks go up to take a face-off here early in the second, it's very interesting how this plays out because, it is Johnson, I think, who wins this face-off, stumbles. Kara makes a nice play, gets the pass back in front to the slot to Johnson, who then passes over to Hardman, and his shot is blocked by Binnington. It goes up in the air. And then Jujhar Khaira comes in and actually hits it into the net to get the Hawks on the board, and it's 2-1. And when it comes to batting pucks out of midair in that kind of a situation, probably one of the easiest calls for no high sticking, whether or not it was. That was one of the easiest calls. That was clearly not high sticking. Hits it under the crossbar. It's in the net. It's 2-1. That is a huge goal from our fourth line. Khaira gets the goal, his second of the season. That is a great one. You get production from the fourth line. That's always very important. And it's honestly kind of nice to see those kinds of players actually get some recognition because, especially in the early season, it was Kane, Taves. No, not even Taves. Taves hasn't even scored a goal yet. He's been assists. He's had some assists, but no goals. Kane, DeBrincat, Hagel. Those are really our 3 goal scorers, and we had, Jones getting a bunch of assists. But, outside of that, we had, no offensive production. So seeing every now and then getting a goal from the fourth line, and it was a whole line effort, too, that kind of I like seeing that because not only does it give exposed players some attention and exposure, but it also shows that you have at least some sort of depth and they can score. For the remainder of the second period, it was a lot of really good saves from Jordan Binnington. The Hawks had a lot of good chances in this period, and Binnington was able to stop everyone except the Khaira goal in the first 30 seconds of the period. So I'll give him the props because you know what? He kept this team in the lead for as long as they did. And now we head into the third period, 2-1, and we get to closer around 5 minutes. There's a battle in the corner a little bit. And then it's thrown on net and deflected in by Brandon Hagel with just over 5 minutes to go in the game. and the game is tied. So yeah, like Taves gets a nice pass to Jones, and he just throws it on. And Brandon Hagel, I don't know how he got it in there, but he got it in there, and the game is tied at 2. And this one's going to overtime. The Hawks will get a point out of this one, despite the offsides goal being taken away. And in overtime, a turnover by the Blues leads to a 2-on-1. And guess who it is? Just take a wild guess on who this is. It's Kanan DeBrincat. And what does Kanan DeBrincat do when they have a 2-on-1 in overtime? They score goals. Kane to DeBrincat, and then Kane back to DeBrincat. He roofs it over Pennington, and the Hawks win in overtime. A huge win for this team, beating your biggest rivals on, well, ESPN Plus. I mean, you got to pay to watch it, but, in front of your home fans against the Blues. You got to win against the Blues, especially after we didn't play him at all last year. So 2 years ago, we actually got all of our 4 games in before COVID happened, and the Blues swept us. So this is our first win since, I think, 2018 against the Blues. And I could not be happier for Derek King and his entire team, because that was a win that they had to come together and really work together. And Lankinen, man, he shut the door after he let that second goal in. Nothing was getting by him. So yeah, just a huge team win to come back from the Pacific Northwest road trip and come back home and play the Blues and win. That is the definition of a huge victory. And now we got the Sharks next, which who knows how that's going to go. They've actually had a pretty good start to the season, considering where people were predicting where they were going to be. So I don't know how that's going to go. It can go however. We'll figure out. We'll see how that happens when that game rolls around. But I think what the team can kind of celebrate for this victory, because it means a lot to not only Derek King and the entire fan base, but for the team to finally get another win against St. Louis and get back in the win column against them. And that, I think, is really, really nice. Overall, just a great team win. They stuck in there. They stuck with it. They were resilient, played to the end, and it came out with a victory for them. After the Sharks here, it's going to be a lot of Eastern Conference action, so this was a huge win against a team that we really wanted to beat and got the victory. I'm really glad that we were able to get that done. Here's to rejuvenating that win streak that we ended up having when Derek King took over. Fingers crossed. That's going to do it for this one. If you liked it, make sure you hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.